Oh, hello. Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I want to continue with the dinosaur series. I want to do a sea-based dinosaur. I want to do what they call an Ichthyosaurus. It looks like a prehistoric dolphin, and I'll show you how to make that from start to finish, and I will show you the types of clay that you can use. There is an oil-based clay such as this, which can be used over and over again. This is the one I mentioned in the past. I used to use as a little kid, and I loved it because when I make all kinds of clay animals, then when I got bored with those, I make new clay animals. Another type of clay that you can use, which can be bought in any store, is this air hardening clay, which hardens like in a couple of hours or overnight. And what's great about this is you can paint it. It'll be permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be fired in the oven about 275 degrees for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can drill it, sand it. You can make a tremendous amount of detail. So I'll show you the size balls of clay that we are going to be using tonight. We're going to be using this size right here for the base or the water. And then what I did is I broke these down into smaller balls of clay. These two right here we'll use for the fins in the back. This top one here we'll use for the dorsal fin. And then we'll use these two here for the front flippers. So I will first show you how to do the base. So we're going to take, but before I do that, I want to show you there's a couple of other things that I want to use tonight. I want to have the toothpicks ready. These are the ones with a point on both sides. And then we're going to use tin foil, which can be bought like in CVS or the supermarket or someplace like that. So we'll start with the water base. Almost think of like a potato. And we're going to kind of squeeze that like that. And see, I'll just work that between your fingers and hands. See how we're doing that? I'm squeezing that from right there. And then what we're going to do is we are going to tap this on the table. So I'm going to take this and go like that. And then what I'm also going to do is, see how I'm pressing this down into the table? That way. Just kind of take and work your fingers like that. We'll try to lengthen this. And just kind of work it like that. So now, as you can see, you have a nice flat base there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the tin foil, and as I've done in the past, I'll show you, we'll take this, it's crinkled up, and you take and kind of make like a swirly motion like this. See that? Just kind of go like that. Just like that. We're going to go all the way around. So you're going to just take, see how I'm doing that? You're going to just work that. Just make little swirly motions like that. Just like that. And I'll show you. It has a really nice effect. See how we did that? See all the detail on there? Makes it look really nice. Then we're going to proceed to make the body. So I'll show you what we're going to try to do here is we're going to make the body right here with the tail. This tail here. And then we're going to make the nice little beak. And I'll show you how to do that. It's very simple. We're going to take this clay ball here. And one of the things we can do right now is we can roll this on the table like this. And this will help us to lengthen out the body. Just kind of take and roll it like that. And then, now that we've kind of lengthened a little bit, what I like to do is, I'm working this. This is going to be the tail. So what we're going to do is we can take, and see how I'm pulling this out here? Pulling it up? I'm going to take and kind of work that, squeeze it between the fingers like that, and then you want to make the shape of the tail. See the shape, that how I'm forming it? Just see how that looks? And we're going to do that for both sides. So I'm going to flip this over now, and I'll take and work the clay. Kind of take this, and see how I'm just pulling that, and just working it, just like that. I want to make sure they're approximately the same size on both sides. So I'm going to make this, see I'm just squishing this to make it a little narrower for the tail. And then we'll take and just kind of squeeze it like that. We're going to go all the way around. See how we're making the shape? And then what I want to do is I want to kind of flip this around now. We're going to work on making the head. So I almost want to bring that to, see I'm kind of bringing that to a point. So we're just going to want to make sure that this is going to be the beak in the front. See how I'm making that? I'm just working around like that. Just like that. And then what I'd like to do is take my fingers, and we're going to just take, there's an easy way to do this. If we want, we can take, see this, we're going to take the toothpick, and we can kind of just go like that. Do it on that side. And you see I'm working the toothpick in there? That way we can almost like cut it in half. Then I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Just like that. And now what we can do is, you can see how we're going to, see, pull this beak apart. Just like that. So now, just like that. So we're pulling that apart. Make sure, make it long enough. See how we just did that? That's what it looked like from the bottom. That's what it looks like from the side, the top. And then we're going to just shape the head a little more. I'll show you the general shape that we want. Just like that. See how that's forming nicely? And then what we'll do, I just want to make sure, I want to revisit the tail here. It looks like it's bigger on one side than the other. So what I want to do is just try to make it even on both sides. See how that looks a lot better now. Now what we'll do is I'll make this, try to thin this out a little more on the tail. So see that nice shape? See how the tail? If it's not 100%, equal on either side, that's all right. But I just want to give you the general idea how to make that tail. See how we get the nice beak? And now what I want to do is kind of smooth this out a little bit with my finger. See? If you take your finger and run it over the clay, like that, we can smooth it out. Just take and smooth it out like that. Just like that. See how I'm smoothing that out? And then we'll do the same for the other side. Just like that. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to attach the water base with the body. I want to attach it to the Ichthyosaurus. So one of the things we can do is just kind of take my thumb, I'm going to just take and kind of work that in. Make sure I push that up against there like that. See how we're doing that? I want to do that from both sides. That way we make sure it's properly attached. Just like that. And we can fix this afterward. I'll show you what we'll do. Just want to make sure that it's going to stay and it's not going to fall off. We can take our tin foil again and just kind of rework that again. You know, make those squiggly lines again. That way we're fixing the area that we kind of... See how we did that? And I'll do the same for the other side. I want to get those nice squiggly lines in there again. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to create the dorsal fin, and I'll show you what the dorsal fin is. This, on the Ichthyosaurus, this is the dorsal fin right here, and we want to create that shape, and then we want to flatten it out so it looks like that. So we're going to take this ball of clay here now, and I'm going to show you, just take and flatten it out with in between your fingers like this. And then we want to make the shape of the dorsal fin like this. See, I'm squeezing that together. So you go from squeezing it like that. Just want to make sure we're getting that the way it should look. See how I flatten that out like that? You squeeze it like this with between your finger and your thumb. But then you also take your fingers and create that shape this way. And then what we want to do is I want to put this on top, but I want to make sure that it's on the same location as the Ichthyosaurus that I made last night. I'm going to put these side by side. And I put that looks like it goes approximately right here. So then we take, and we push that in, push it in. We take our thumb, going to work that into the body. We're going to go all the way around, and then I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing, kind of work that in like that, so it's properly attached. And see how we did that? And we'll do the same up here. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to make the true front flippers. See these right here? Right there? And then the flipper right here? We're going to put those on right now. And I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take this ball of clay here, flatten it out between your fingers, like that. But then you also want to be making that shape of the flipper. See how I'm kind of making almost like triangular like that, but I'm flattening it out at the same time. So we're going to just want to work that. See how that looks? And then I'll quickly do the other one. Just like that. Now we'll pick up the other piece of clay and I'll show you how to do that again. Just flatten it out between your fingers. Just like that. And then we're going to start to shape it. See how you make that nice shape of the flipper. Just like that. I want to make sure that see how that looks? It's really starting to take shape. Let's see that. And I want to make sure these are approximately the same size. So when I look at them, they're approximately the same size. Now we can attach these to the body. What we're going to do is take this one right here, and I'm going to attach that right here. So I'm just going to work that in like that. And then when we can go underneath right here, you can kind of push it in with the toothpick. So just make sure that that appears to be okay. And then we're going to proceed to do the other side. We'll do the exact same thing. So put that, I want to make sure they're approximately in the same location. Let me make sure. See that? I'm going to work that in like that. Just going to work it like that. And then we can go underneath with the toothpick and we can try to see what I'm doing there? Pushing the clay up against the flipper from the bottom. That way we make sure it's attached from both sides. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to make the back flippers. And I'm going to hold this up and I'll show you. See this right here? This little flipper here? And then we go to the other side and you have the other flipper. We're going to make these two and attach them. So we take these, thin this clay out, and then you make that shape of that flipper. See how I'm making that nicely? It's really starting to take shape. Then you try to flatten it out, like that, just like that. And then you make the shape of the flipper. And that's what it should look like when you've completed making it. And I'll make the other one. So we take this, pick that up, and see how we're flattening that out. And then we want to make the shape of the flipper, just like that. And what I'm going to do is make sure they're approximately the same size, which they appear to be. And then we'll proceed to attach these. So now what I'm going to do is take this and then attach it right there. So take our thumb and just going to work that in. And right here, I'm going to take my thumb and work it underneath, because before we did use the toothpick, but that was because there wasn't much space in between the flipper and the, the water base. But see how we just did that? And now I'll proceed to do that to the other side. So take that and attach that right about there. It's approximately the same location for both sides. And just kind of work that, push that in like that, and then we'll take and work this from above with the toothpick. See, I'm just taking that toothpick and trying to get that attached. And then the next step that we want to take is we want to make the eyes. So what I'll do is I'll show you, there's a very easy way to do this. We're going to take the toothpick, we're going to take and put the toothpick in like that, and then we're going to roll it around like this. Because the Ichthyosaurus had a very large eye. And then we'll proceed to do the other eye. So I'll make that, show that's approximately the same location. And then put that in like that. And then just take and work it like this. Just like that. And that is the Ichthyosaurus. It is now ready to be fired in the oven. And that'll be the next step. And now that this has been fired in the oven, we can now proceed to paint the Ichthyosaurus. I'll show you the types of paint that we can use. There's acrylic paints, which can be bought in any art store. There's about 18 in this package. And we will use several different colors. We want to do the water base, so there's 3 colors for that. We want to take blue. We want a light blue color, and we want the white. We also want pink for the inside of the mouth. We want black, and then we want a bluish green color for the Ichthyosaurus for doing the body. We'll take and put these aside. And I'll show you the size brushes that we will use. We're going to use this size brush for painting the base and the body. We're going to use this size brush here for painting the eyes. And then I'm going to take a few smaller brushes here. I have 3 here. And we'll use these for painting the different colors with the water. Like we have to do the light blue and we have to do the white. So the first thing that I want to do is I'll show you, we're going to paint, put these aside. We're going to paint the water base. Do this. So now, see this right here? We're going to go up and down. Paint up and down, up and down. See this? Back and forth. I'm going to paint right up to the... And then we'll... back and forth. Just like this. And now I'll proceed to do the other side. Back and forth, just like that. And then we'll get as close as we can to the body. Don't worry if you get some on the body, because we can always touch that up afterward. We go all the way around like that. We're going to paint the entire base in that manner. So the next thing that we want to do once we've completed that is we want to use the light blue. And what we'll do with this is we'll just kind of dab it a little bit. So you can just dab it a little bit. Just like that. A little bit here and there. We're going to go all the way around and do that. See how we... We'll take and just dab that. It gives it a really nice effect because it'll look just like the ocean. And the next thing that we want to do, I'll just dab that a little bit more, is we want to use the white. And we'll dab this. So you just kind of dab that like that. And that gives it the white water effect. Looks like the waves are being all churned up. We'll proceed to go to the other side. Just like that. See how the nice effect that has? We'll do that a little bit more in there. Just dab it like that. Has a really nice effect. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to paint the pink mouth. And then we'll just see this, how we're going to paint inside the mouth. Just go back and forth. And then we'll do the upper part. And don't worry if we get a little bit of paint on the sides of the little beak here, because we can always touch that up with the blue green afterward. Now that we've done that, I want to take and do the eyes. We'll dip this in. Now see this eye right here? We're going to just put this in here. And we'll proceed to do the other side. See this? We're going to put this right in the eye right here. And then we're going to proceed to do the body now. We're going to go back to the wider brush. So now we take this brush. And see this? We'll paint the entire body with the blue-green. See that? Back and forth, back and forth. You want to do the entire body. So like we're doing the tail right here. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. So now, see, we're going to do the tail again. You go back and forth, just like that. And then we'll proceed to paint the flippers. You do them all around. We'll do the flippers here, back and forth, just like that. And then, let's see, we're going to do the dorsal fin here. See that? You go back and forth, just like that. And then you want to get down by the eye. So just kind of go around the eye. And then we're going to do the beak or the mouth area. See how nice that looks? And you'll paint the entire Ichthyosaurus in this manner. And I will show you what it will look like once it's completed. This is the painted Ichthyosaurus. See, we have the pink for the mouth. I'll try to rotate that one so you can see it. We have the black for the eyes. We see how we have the nice water base that was mixed with all those different colors, with the light blue, white, and the dark blue. And then we painted the entire body a blue-green color, which I think has a nice contrast with the water. So that's what your final version will look like. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations of Clay tonight, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.